In this video, what I want to do is briefly discuss the different specialty areas or branches of psychology. This video will start out with experimental psychology. Experimental psychology tries to apply the scientific method to the study of behavior and mental processes. This is also a study of the biological basis of behavior and also the study of animal behavior as it relates to human behavior. While lab experiments are difficult to replicate in the real world, an advantage to this method is the ability to control the application of the independent variable so more consistent results can be measured. Next is clinical psychology. This is the assessment and treatment of people with psychological disorders such as PTSD, obsessive compulsive disorder, and anxiety disorder. The major concern or focus of this is human welfare and ethical and professional conduct. Clinical psychologists work with many different individuals, from infants to the elderly. There is also a focus on individuals, groups, business systems, and the like. You can find clinical psychologists working at psychiatric hospitals, clinics, rehabilitation clinics, service agencies, private practice, the military, universities and colleges, correctional facilities, and government research agencies. The processes they are trained for are diagnosis, intervention, research, and consultation. The next is counseling psychology. This is a therapeutic approach to difficult decision making, such as whether or not to attend college, making vocational decisions. Some specialties are school psychologists where collaboration between teacher, parent, and psychologist can assist children in school. Particular attention is paid to the emotional, social, vocational, educational, health-related, developmental, and organizational well-being for individuals. Counseling psychologists focus on healthy individuals rather than individuals with serious mental illness such as schizophrenia. They can also deal with vocational therapy, substance abuse, child and adolescent development, aging, health psychology, including long-term care patients such as AIDS and cancer patients. Next is educational psychology. This is the study of better ways to help students maximize their learning potential. The educational psychologist can assist K through 12 teachers in enhancing learning processes. William James founded the modern discipline of educational psychology with repetition and the use of reward and punishment, or operant conditioning, originally thought of as beginning with la tabula rasa, or blank slate. This discipline also draws on the idea of scaffolding, where one idea builds upon another and progress cannot be made until mastery is developed. In other words, we cannot read without knowing the alphabet. This is also known as pedagogy. A newer theoretical approach to adult education has risen out of the 1950s. This is known as andragogy, where the learner is motivated to learn and needs to know how the material fits into his or her own professional or personal life. Andragogy poses that people learn throughout their lifetime, and teachers are their facilitators. This is also known as student-centered learning. Next is developmental psychology. Generally, it's focused on child development. It can also focus on cognitive, physical, social, and personality development through the lifespan. It is thought that Jean Piaget around the 1920s began the study of developmental psychology. His approach involved understanding the underlying reasoning or cognition behind the behavior of humans. Next is personality psychology. Personality psychology focuses on the personality and character of individuals and how they act and develop. Personality can be thought of as a dynamic and organized set of characteristics that each person has. Each set of characteristics is unique to each individual. These characteristics are said to influence individuals' cognitions, motivations, and behaviors depending upon the situation. Each personality is idiographic or unique to the individual. Next is social psychology. Social psychologists focus on group behavior and how groups affect individual behavior. They also address social situations as the key component of social psychology. Social psychologists look for how and why we behave in the presence of other people. The way people feel, think, believe, what intentions and goals we have. How do these factors influence what we do? For example, why do people behave differently in a mob setting as opposed to a solitary setting? Next is environmental psychology. Environmental psychology focuses on the relationship between human behavior and the environment they live and work within. Environmental psychology also focuses on sustainable living. Environmental psychologists prefer to think of their discipline as integrative in nature, where they use problem-oriented thinking and employ multiple disciplinary approaches such as education, public health, social work, and urban planning. Next is industrial organizational psychology. Organizational psychology studies how human factors interplay in the workplace. They ask questions such as, how do individuals interact with equipment or computer programs? How do individuals interact with each other in power relationships? Abraham Maslow is believed to be one of the founders in organizational psychology. Another person, whose name is Eric Trist, was also involved with the founding of organizational psychology. These two are where many of the processes that are familiar to organizational behavior and organization development started. The next specialty area is health psychology. Health psychologists focus on health and lifestyle. They ask questions like, how does stress, lifestyle, and attitude affect physical health? They also study the interrelationships that positively or negatively affect individual wellness. Traditionally, health psychology focuses on biological, psychological, and social components of wellness. Sometimes daily existence can cause sufficient stress to make a person sick. Health psychology seeks to reverse these stressors as much as possible so that individuals can have an improved state of being. Next is consumer psychology. They ask questions such as, how do consumers behave? It also studies the way in which marketing will affect consumer buying habits. It studies things that put buyers into a buying mood. This kind of study helps organizations find better ways to market their products. It delves into how consumers think, feel, and reason when they select different brands, products, and retailers. It is also concerned with how the consumer is influenced by culture, family, advertising signs, and the media. To quote, it is the study of individuals, groups, or organizations and the processes they use to select, secure, use, and dispose of products, services, experiences, or ideas to satisfy needs and the impacts that these processes have on the consumer and society. Finally, you need to understand that psychology is very diverse. While there are many different approaches, the desire is the same. What we want to do is try to predict what people will do in a given situation. As more areas of study open up, there will be more questions that need to be asked regarding human behavior. It's important to remember that no matter the area or method, we are dealing with humans. As such, they deserve to be informed regarding what we are studying about their behavior. If you recall the Milgram experiments from the 1970s, you will know that studies without proper informed consent can lead to long-lasting, if not permanent, psychological injury. Thank you for listening. I really appreciate your time.